This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is safariLIVE.
This is so exciting. We've managed to find the sausage tree pride.
Look at this last dash.
This is amazing. Look at that incredible strength.
20 seconds.
Here come the cheetah. Unbelievable stuff.
I'm just keeping my head on a swivel. You never know what's going to happen next in these situations.
Standing by.
Can you believe this?
Three, two, one. Live.
Good evening, South Africa, and welcome back after all the time you have spent away from us. We have missed you thoroughly while you've been enjoying the cricket. Well, my name is Steve, and I'm joined by Gert on camera. And, well, what can I say? We are live and interactive. We'd like to hear from you. We are coming from two locations, one in the Maasai Mara in Kenya, where it is currently dark, and two in the Western Kruger National Park. To hashtag safariLIVE. We'd love to interact and see exactly what's going on. The weather is a very nice 23 degrees Celsius. It's overcast. It is the wet season, and there's been lots of last few episodes.
In spring, safariLIVE arrived on South African television for the very first time. We introduced you to our famous predator characters, and we interacted with you direct from the wilderness. In the Maasai Mara, we met the fledgling Owino pride, two lionesses building a legacy with their 3 cubs. Kinky Tail and the Sausage Tree Pride with their adorable new youngsters. And Waffles, grizzled old matriarch of the North Clan, and a possible plot to overthrow her. Down in the Western Kruger, the growing Djuma clan finding comfort and security at the den. The Nkuhuma Pride stalking the woodlands. And of course, the captivating royal leopard lineage of Djuma. The old Duke, Tingana, and his son, the social little chief, Hosana. This is safariLIVE.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Patrick. Joining me on camera, we have Davicito. And remember, this is 100% live, 100% interactive, so send in those questions using that hashtag safariLIVE. Well, I'm joined by a rather large herd of impala right now. It's a mixed herd of males and females, and we have 2 males fighting just here to the right. Oh, we've got 2 sets of males. It's fight night out here. 3 sets of males fighting. Now, this is very strange behaviour to see. Usually, we only see fighting when females are coming into estrus for their breeding season, or around when they start to lay their lambs as well. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, I'm not sure why they are fighting right now. Now, earlier on, I did check the hyena den, and unfortunately, there wasn't any activity, but I will be going back to check it. But in the meantime, let's go see where earlier in the year, Tristan did have some hyenas and a leopard.
welcome to South Africa. It is an epic start to our afternoon, to our evening, should I say. As you can see, there's a tug of war between a hyena and a leopard. So what's happened here is a female leopard killed a nyala, and her and her cub have been feeding during the afternoon. But not more than 150 meters away was two male leopards that also had a kill, and one of the male leopards has run in here with the hyena, and they've stolen this kill, and they are now having a tug of war between the two of them. This is absolutely insane. Now, I wonder if the female's going to come back this way, or are we going to see maybe the other male also arriving here, because the other male is a much bigger male than this one. This young male is called Hosana, and the bigger male is Tingana, who's his dad, and he might arrive. With the noise of these two feeding and fighting, you might find that that other male comes in. But look at how the hyena is still eating, even though the leopard is trying to drag it away from it. And the hyena is going to use all of its power and strength to be able to try and kind of break this open and pull this and try and get as much out of this carcass as possible. Now, it really is quite amazing to see these two predators going at a tug of war between them. Now, the male leopard is going to try and grab as much as he can and try and maybe get it up into a tree. So even if it's a chunk or a piece of it, he's going to try and get as much as he can up there, or he's going to sit and just feed right next to this hyena. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, that was a very strange sighting. It's very odd to see two predators around a kill being civil, let alone sharing the kill. Very strange stuff. So we are still here with the impalas, and they're still locking horns. Those two pairs that were fighting earlier, still going at it. And as I was saying, it is strange behaviour for this time of year. So most of the females have dropped their lambs. So the breeding season has officially finished now. And so the males should be settling down, but there has been a lot of fighting. Alex, are impala males territorial or just defensive? Well, they're not very territorial. The only time you'll really see them locking horns like this is when females are coming into estrus, which essentially means that they're ready to breed and they're ready to give birth. Oh, not to give birth, but to mate. So they won't defend their territory, but they will definitely fight for dominance, and the dominant male is the one that gets to do all the mating. Actually, in Zimbabwe, 4 males were responsible for 75% of mating in one breeding season. So that really goes to show just how important territory is. So we are with some fighting impala. Let's have a look at what impala actually are and how they came to be here.
9 beautiful species of antelope occur here at Djuma. Late November is the birthing season. We marvel at wobbly wildebeest calves, fluffy duiker lambs hiding in the thick bush, and the playful antics of the impala lambs. All of these youngsters are able to stand within half an hour of birth and run very soon after that. They must be able to escape from the lions, leopards, wild dogs and hyenas that stalk these wild woodlands. But before a male antelope has the privilege of fatherhood, he must fight. Astoundingly, these savage battles seldom end in death. These graceful yet powerful herbivores are a constant source of fascination.
Welcome back live to Djuma, the Greater Kruger National Park in South Africa. We have got a couple of crocodiles lying up in what is Chitwa watering hole. I do apologize about the technical issues. We've got some hippo having a bit of a fight ahead of us here. Enough about the apologies for now. The hippos are going to do something interesting. It is Chitwa watering hole. Lots of hippos shouting at the evening. We are still in color. It is light still down here in South Africa. And well, I do apologize about any technical difficulties we had earlier. My name is indeed Steve, and I'm joined by Big Gert on camera, and the hippo wants to come out of the water. This is a big pond that not so long ago we had an impala trying to swim away from crocodiles. You saw a sign of crocodile not so long ago, and in this watering hole, two impala in the space of about 2 weeks tried to outswim one of the fastest swimmers out here, and well, they did not win. They paid the price. Who knows? There are some more animals coming down to drink in the distance. Are they going to fall victim once again to this very submerged predator? Hello everybody, welcome to Chitwa Watering Hole, where the hippos are having all sorts of interesting activity. We've just had two of them chasing each other around there. So we do have technical issues out here, and we were positioned very beautifully, very comfortably here, watching some hippos, and then, well, everything just failed on us. So I do apologize to everybody out there, but it is a live broadcast coming into you from a very remote location, and that is how it works. But let's keep back on the hippos, because every time we scan away from them, something happens. Something happens. You hear them shouting. It is almost time for them to be coming out of the water, to be having some grazing, because, well, that's what hippos do. They don't eat meat like crocodiles do. They feed on grass, and, well, in the Mara, after the rainfall that David has had, there is enormous amount of palatable grasses.
A very warm welcome to the Mara Triangle in Kenya, and hello everyone. And yeah, we got some hippos here. It's just wonderful to have hippos in the Mara Triangle in Kenya. You have been in South Africa, in Kruger National Park, and now just see. Correct. This is just a hippo, and where this hippo is, this is not a river. It's just water that collected after all the rains we've been having here in the Mara the last couple of 3 weeks. Lots of rain we've been having, but so far so good, and we're enjoying every drop of this rain here in the Mara. Hello, hello, and Jambo Jambo, welcome live, and welcome more so to the Mara Triangle in Kenya. And we've got a hippo opening our drive this evening all the way from the Mara Triangle in Kenya. That's a hippo moving there, and I'll tell you what, that hippo is not in the water. It's just an area that collected water because of the rains we've been going through. My name is David, and with me on camera is Archie. Archie, how are you doing? We're very excited to have you on board, and remember, this is a very interactive safari that we do. So should you have any questions, should you have any comments, we love hearing that. As usual, hashtag safariLIVE. I know you had a very good break watching the Muzanizi Super League cricket, but now some time to show you something very different. We're going to go back to a little water pan there, and just as I was saying before, this is not the Mara River, and this is just water that collected, and the animals are taking advantage of this. Where you see that hippo, and that what you see there, that is a road. Not anymore. When I drove here, I got to a dead road and I cannot cross there. Now, these hippos do not belong here. They belong to another area that usually have water all around the year. Let's have a look.
The Mara River is the artery that brings life to this African ecosystem. Thousands of animals live in its waters, from lazy herbivores to voracious predators. Thirsty animals must visit the treacherous banks. Travelers brave the dangers lurking beneath the muddy surface. Hundreds of bird species forage on the shores and in the depths. For much of the year, the residents of the Mara enjoy the bounty of the river, many waiting patiently for the few months when more than 1 million animals come to feast on the grass of the plains. But the grass is green on both sides, and it is a temptation that overcomes even the deepest fears. This is feasting time for the greatest of the world's reptiles. But it's not only the crocodiles that take a toll on the herds. Panic, currents, and cascading rapids account for an astonishing number of deaths each year. The Mara River is a paradox, providing both life and death.
Welcome back live, and you have seen truly the actual habitat of these hippos. These hippos do not belong here where they are. They are here just because of the rains we have been having massively here for the last, I would say, 2 weeks now in the Mara Triangle, and they're taking advantage of the, you can see their walking is not very balanced, so they have to struggle to walk. And as I said earlier, those are how many? 4 hippos there. They're about 1 kilometer away from the actual river that you just saw, and with all the dynamics of that river. The other day, not long time ago, my friend Jamie Patterson have spent a long time. Well, Sinak, very good question, and you're asking, is it rare to see hippos at night? Well, I'll tell you, Sinak, this is the best time to see hippos at night, because hippos do not have sweat glands, and their skin, it's very sensitive to the sun. So what would happen during the day, Sinak, hippos spend the rest of the day in the water, and they'll only come out of the water at night because they need to feed. So when they come out, this is like the best time for them to come out. So it's not unusual, or it's not rare to see hippos out of the water at night. What they're doing now, they're heading out to graze, and they'll be grazing most likely the whole night, coming back in the morning. And that's why hippos have become pretty dangerous here in Africa, because they come out when you're going to fetch water, and in the evening, or they're coming back to the water in the morning when we are also going to fetch water. Well, my friend Jamie Patterson have been following hyenas, and there's one particular clan that is called the North Clan, and she knows all about the nomenclature of that clan.
This individual here is Waffles, the queen of the North Clan, the one that fought her way up from one of the lowest positions in the hierarchy to the top of the pile. You can see that she wears a collar. That is because these hyenas have been researched for over 30 years, and that's just one way of keeping track and learning more about these amazing and misunderstood animals. There's something that we have to explain from the very beginning, and that is the way in which these animals are named, because there is actually method to the madness. A hyena clan is made up of females, their sons, their daughters, their grandchildren, and different females within that line, and each family fits into a different slot in the hierarchy. So, as a result, the females are actually named, or the offspring of the females are named on a theme. So Waffles' theme is types of syrup. She has her son Ferg, she has her son Hershey, and then she had one daughter called Log Cabin. Now, Log Cabin is dead, unfortunately. What have you guys seen? Hold on one second. We'll get back to this explanation. definitely some signs of interest and excitement. Believe it or not, the biggest threat to them right now is lions moving in to steal their kill. Look, they're dashing off, chasing an individual off into the east, into the sunrise. I don't know who that was, and I don't know why that happened, but they're right on the fringes of their territory, so it could actually have been a hyena from a neighboring clan being very, very brave. But as we were saying, typically it is lions that steal from hyenas rather than the other way around. So Waffles has a theme. Her daughter is dead, but her granddaughter Soup is still alive. We're going to run the gauntlet with the hyena clan, and in particular with Waffles and her granddaughter Soup. And so far, for an aging matriarch, I think you'll agree, she's doing pretty well for herself.
Exciting, everyone. So I was just making my way up to the dam, and would you know it, I have ran into some heavy traffic, and I am talking heavy. Largest land mammal in the world heavy. They came out right in front of us, very close to the car. Awesome to have a sighting like this. And we can see them scratching through the trees here. Now, I am currently on infrared, but we also have another helper here that might make us see these elephants a little bit better. It is the FLIR, and it is from thermal signatures. So we'll be able to see the heat signatures that these elephants are giving off, and we'll get a nice view of them here through the bushes. And actually, this is going to serve my own personal curiosity pretty well as well, because I have read that elephants, well, they have a number of mechanisms of cooling themselves down, but apparently they also have hot spots on their body, which are spots that are randomly located throughout their body where there's a higher amount of heat exchange. So if we can see, it's a bit difficult right now, but if we can get a look at the solid elephant, I might just, are we clear behind us? Yeah, I'm just going to move back, everybody. Bear with me for 2 seconds. We're just going to have to switch to infrared while I move. Alright. Cogmaker, I love night safaris too. It's just, the cover of darkness makes everything that little bit more interesting. Makes sightings all the more special. And what have we got going on here? We've got a bit of bonding, I think. To my left, there is 2 elephants that we can see facing their rears to us, and just in front of them is a younger elephant, and they were all laying their trunks on it. I wonder what they're doing. What's going on here? It looks like a little bit of youngster play. Oh, how beautiful. Well, I think we are going to stick with these elephants and see what other mischief they get up to. So do not go anywhere. We're going to be coming back to you right after this short break. Welcome back, internet viewers. How special is this? These elephants have come just at the right time during TV, make me look a little bit better. These group is a real mischievous bunch. There's a lot of youngsters amongst them, and I've seen a lot of playing, a lot of pushing, a lot of, you know, real boisterous antics. What's this one doing here? Seems very interested in this branch. We can see it streaming from its temporal gland. Whoa! is this? Yes. Wow, I'm really not sure what this one is doing right now. There's a lot going on right now. So we can see that group in the background is also acting up quite a bit as well. I'm really trying to piece together what is going on. The use of that stick, it seemed to be slapping it against its feet there. Feet there. Really not sure what's going on here. And as I was saying, it is streaming from its temporal gland, and we will see that when a bull is on must, but we'll also see it just when they're excited or perhaps a bit anxious or any kind of overwhelming sort of emotion. They'll start streaming. It's going for the catapult there, the shot put. Wow. I really wonder what's gotten up this one's nose. Welcome back to the Juma Game Reserve here on the western skirts of the Greater Kruger National Park. I am Pat, joined by Davicito on camera. We are still sitting here with these elephants, and they have been putting on a show for us. Oh, they have been fighting, well, play fighting and playing around and pushing each other, putting their trunks on one another. It really has been quite the show. And we can see, oh, we got some mounting here. Wow. Well, look out for the little fella down the bottom there. So I don't think that was a serious mount. I think that was just a dominance display. Vicky, it most definitely is playtime. We can see the youngster there really wants to get involved, walking in the middle. They're still going at it. I remember being that age, with all of my friends bumping around, play fighting, just having a all-round good time. Zephyr, it most definitely is an alley roadblock, and there is no other roadblock I would rather encounter. I could sit at this stop sign for about 3 or 4 hours, maybe even all day. Absolutely wonderful. Let's take a look at these guys in flare. We do have them out in the open now, and if anyone was with us earlier, you will remember me talking about the hotspots of the elephants. The hotspots being places that they exchange heat to cool down. So I'm just having a look now, and we can sort of see small patches there on the body where it does seem to be a little bit cooler. But perhaps this paper wasn't all that accurate. But look how hot their tails are compared to the rest of their body as well. And we can see that youngster shining very bright, and that is all to do with surface area to volume ratio. So the smaller an animal is, the higher its surface area to volume ratio is going to be, and there's going to be different heat exchange. Well, looks like these guys are making their way off. What an awesome close encounter. Let's go and take a look at some other close encounters with these beautiful big mammals.
Elephants are an iconic keystone species of the wilderness, and they have captured our hearts and minds like no other. The herds are fascinating to observe and extremely important to the health of African ecosystems. Elephants live in complex matriarchal societies. Calves are raised and mentored by caring relatives and friends. Their playfulness and intelligence in so many ways mimics our own. More than 30 years of human activity has made the elephants of the Sabi sand relatively comfortable around our vehicles.
Oh my goodness, hello. That's very close.
We must always guard against becoming complacent in their awesome presence. That said, a respectful and sensitive approach to these intelligent creatures can result in moments of profound connection to the wilderness.
Well, welcome back live to us here in Djuma in South Africa, where we have got our own elephant that has just quenched his thirst down here by Chitwa watering hole. And well, aren't they magnificent creatures? The matriarchal society of elephants is very complex, very, very interesting, and we do spend lots of time watching and really enjoying the behavior of not just the adults, but especially the babies. This lone male elephant, after quenching his thirst, is now going to wander off into the wilderness to where we do not know. Maybe time to have a little bit of a munch, time to head off and eat some food. But my name is Steve, and well, we have had very interesting interaction up in the Mara with the matriarchs of Djuma, with the elephants. Jamie, who has spent so much time with the North Clan, who will be the next matriarch?
So typically, a hyena clan doesn't stay together all day. They're usually separated into 1 or 2, maybe 3 individuals that go off during the day and rest, or perhaps wander around and have a jolly good sniff. But at a kill like this one, they all gather together in order to feed, obviously. And that's when you really start to see those social dynamics. The greeting ceremonies, the way in which they interact with each other are all important into determining who is higher in the hierarchy, who is dominant, who is submissive. Now that over there, with the sun shining gently onto the back of her neck, is the matriarch's granddaughter, Soup.
Soup is current heir to the North Clan matriarchy. If the aging Waffles were to die, Soup and her cubs would be her only surviving female descendants. As the sun sets on Waffles' reign, the question of who will take her place arises. Matriarch is a coveted position. It gives priority at mealtime. The leader's cubs will dominate meat brought to the den. All females would like this privilege for their offspring. But while Soup has the genetic claim to the matriarchy, her succession is by no means secure. Waffles took the position by force. She wasn't born to it. So any of the clan's females could be eyeing the position. Many of them have multiple generations of female relatives, strong armies to back a challenge. While Soup's gang is small, with just 2 cubs and her aging grandmother. But Waffles has surprised us all, birthing 2 more cubs. Now her army is gaining strength, and the scene is set for an epic power play. Will hereditary right or aggressive might win the right to rule over the North Clan?
What a lovely diminutive animal. Look at that. And welcome to my vehicle. This is Sydney Fumunani Mikosi, and I am live from the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park, SABC's Djuma Game Reserve. And please don't forget that this is an interactive live safari. We are highly available. You can send your questions and comments on Twitter, #safariLIVE. So the scrub hair was just here now. While I'm still trying to check where that scrub hair went, I want to take you back and see what has been happening between the hyenas and the leopards. So you can see that the scrubway is now feeding. These kind of animals are so very much interesting because when feeding, after defecating, every time they've got to eat their own droppings. If you look at the droppings of the scrubway, you must know that it is a second phase of recycling. They do what is called a caprophagic behavior. So now I know some of you have never been to the Maasai Mara. I'm going to make a plan now. I've got a friend by the Maasai Mara called David Gatamagitu who is waiting. David, I'm sending the whole South Africa to you.
Well, welcome back to the Mara Triangle, and my hippos left. I now got a crocodile that is slowly walking or moving or swimming along the bank of what used to be a road, and I'm trying to imagine she's trying to get herself something to eat. You might have noticed we are already in infrared, just like in Kruger National Park in South Africa. It's because it's dark. It normally gets darker here much earlier than in South Africa because we are excuse me, on the East African time zone. We are 1 hour ahead of South Africa. So that's a and I was telling you before, this is meant to be and we have what we call the short trains. But as far as I'm concerned, these are not short trains. Well, you never know what this don't go away because we'll be right back.
Hello everybody, terribly sorry. The technical issues seem to be all over the place. It is the Gremlins, you see. Now those of you who've never heard of Gremlins before, well, a very interesting movie years ago where these very crazy little creatures come out and basically sabotage everything, and well, that is what the Gremlins are essentially. They get into all our technical stuff and eat the wires and, well, just make a real nuisance of themselves. Well, we've headed off from Chitwa, coming back up towards where we had Tingana this afternoon. He crossed into Torchwood, and unfortunately we don't have access to Torchwood today. And well, he went in and we didn't see him come out. He went in with a cacophony of impalas screaming and shouting at him. Is that him? No. That was a steenbok. Sorry, steenbok. Little steenbok and duiker animals can look very similar to a leopard at night. Just the sort of height that they have and the eyes in front. When you scan very quickly, it kind of looks like a leopard, but when you get a closer look, you can clearly see that the body shape and everything is obviously all very wrong. So, we're to boundary patrol, heading up the eastern side of Djuma. Who knows what we will see, but Pat, I believe, is still with his elephants.
Well, I have unfortunately left the alleys. One was just getting a little bit too temperamental, and of course we don't want to risk it when it comes to these big, majestic creatures. So I am just perusing about. I might get the flashlight out. I am on my way to the hyena den right now, so hopefully they are out. We did check about 45 minutes ago with no luck, so hopefully they are out. Just coming across a dam now. It's always worth keeping an eye out for a leopard when we come through here. You just never know. Now we might be doing a TV show, but you can still send us in your questions. So please do use that hashtag safariLIVE or the chat stream on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody. We are live again here at Juma in the Sabi Sand. I am Pat and we have Davicito on camera. Now, unfortunately, I had to leave the elephants. So there was just one that was getting a little bit too playful, just a little bit too temperamental. And of course, with elephants, we want to give them our most respect. So we just thought we'd handle the situation and leave. So I am moving now to the hyena den. I'm really hoping that we can find the hyenas. It has been a while since we have seen the hyenas, but lately we have seen them move den, so we know where they are now. It's just a matter of them being out or not. Speaking about hyenas, I'm sure you're all wondering what happened with Hosanna and those hyenas.
And I wonder where the other two leopards have run off to. I wonder if maybe Mom has gotten a fright and her and her cub have shot off and gone in a different direction. It wouldn't surprise me at all. They ran off sort of up north away from us, and so I wouldn't be surprised if the two of them are trying to get out of here as quick as possible. With hyenas and other leopards around, and Mom will always be very, very careful of her cub and will try and kind of separate them. But just listen to the noise of these guys actually feeding. The hyena's jaws are so powerful. It's just breaking open that rib cage and trying to get into where the flesh is. And you can see why they can make short work, but look at how close that leopard's face is to the hyena. Isn't this insane? This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, this is not something you're going to see every day. We've been absolutely spoiled by seeing this. I also haven't introduced myself. My name is Tristan, and on camera I've got Senzo this afternoon, and it's a very warm welcome, and I hope that you're going to enjoy this. It's an insane amount of action that is taking place. It's very, very, very cool to kind of see what's going on. Now, I am very surprised if the other big male doesn't arrive here. I'll be shocked if he doesn't, and the reason why is the other big male was finishing up the kill that he had, and so he'll hear this crunching, he'll hear this interaction, and I will just keep an eye and a sort of head on a swivel just in case he comes flying out of the bush and arrives at this particular carcass and we see him also interacting, because if he runs in, I wouldn't be surprised that the hyena and this leopard runs away immediately. Now, I'm just listening because I can hear some alarm calls. I wonder if he's on his way.
And you have seen sometimes how different predators may be brought together for a commonality like food. At the moment, it has cooled off. When we started earlier, it was about 21 degrees Celsius. I might have forgotten to tell you about the temperature, but definitely it feels much colder now than 21 degrees. It could be anything 18. Still in the Mara Triangle, and I want to show you why it feels colder, because I have an extra layer on myself just to make sure I keep warm. So I'm leaving this area because I want to move on and find out what else I'll be able to see. And remember, our drive is always very interactive. Should you have any questions, please keep sending them through on hashtag safariLIVE. Alrighty. A lot of things to be seeing, you know, at night on the road, and because the road is much warmer now than out there in the grass, where it's much cooler and too wet for the animals. Would imagine animals like small little guys like scrub hares might come on the road and, you know, keep jumping, or even lions might also come because this is much warmer. It's still very wet out there, and cats in general do not like the wetness because they have so much fur on their body. Now, what I'll be doing, I'll be using my spotlight just to keep looking left and right. Should I see anything beautiful apart from the beautiful moon we just saw? Hopefully it's gonna clear up and those clouds will go away, and we're going to have some beautiful better moonlight. Great James, I'll tell you, the last 72 hours or so, we got about 250 millimeters of rainfall. Now, we got the short rains at the moment in Kenya, but to me, I don't think they are the short rains. These are kind of long rains, and I would say the meteorological department have been trying to give us an idea of what to expect every day, but what I would say now, it is quite unpredictable, and you cannot say how the weather will be like tomorrow. Now, let's find out what might have happened between Tingana and Hosanna with my friend Steve Obo.
The reason why Hosanna is not attacking the hyena is because the hyena is still dangerous to him. A bite from one of those, well, from a hyena's jaws could very well latch onto his paw and could break bones in his paw. Remember, their mouth structure is hugely powerful. I mean, you can see how this hyena is ripping into this carcass and taking off big chunks and breaking bone, and that means that Hosanna has got to be a bit careful of that. He doesn't want to get himself injured. Much easier for him to be able to find another meal than it is to be able to try and interact with something like a hyena. So he's really got to be very careful about that, and that's why he's just going to try and kind of feed next to it. And what's eventually going to happen is that hyena is going to get full and might just leave a piece, or they're going to have a tug of war and the carcass is going to break, and Hosanna is going to end up with one section and the hyena is going to end up with the other section. But they're both in a race to try and eat as much as possible. Unfortunately for Hosanna, hyena's got a better ability to be able to just swallow massive chunks of meat. But this is insane. It's amazing how quickly a hyena goes through a carcass. It astounds me when they do this. Look at that. They are almost nose to nose. Tingana's coming now. The big male's here. So the big male leopard has also come in. Here we go. Now this is going to be very... There we go. You see now, look. There we go. He definitely is going to be the boss. You can see how Hosanna ran away straight away. The hyena's gone, and now look at him taking it up. Now the hyena's coming back as well. He's going to try and get it. This is just insane. Now the hyena's grabbed a baby nyala that was inside the mother. There goes the hyena. Hosanna unfortunately has lost out, but Tingana has got it up in a tree. Here's Tundi. Now there's the third leopard. Here comes Tundi as well. So there's the mother. She's also here. So we've got the mother, we've got Hosanna coming in. 3 leopards in the same place. Look at this. This is insane.
Yes, that sighting, it just gets weirder and weirder as it progresses, doesn't it? Very strange to see. Well, good news is we have found the hyena den. The bad news is we haven't found hyenas. Unfortunately, they just mustn't be coming out tonight. Usually we will see them nursing here with their parents. The cubs will be suckling with the matriarch Corky and her son Plonk. And then there is also Pretty, who is subordinate to Corky, and she's also here at this den with her 2 cubs. But while we're here, we may as well make use of this den and put it into flow. Maybe not. Let's not do that. Let's go across to Sydney, who has got a scrub hare.
You can see that the scrub hare is now busy feeding. The scrub hares, the females can be very much special. These females, for them, in order to engage with the males, normally they invite the males to come and prove themselves that they're real males. You will see the males boxing each other and kicking each other heavily. Sometimes the brides, the females who are responsible of those kind of events, they get injured badly when the males are trying by all means to demonstrate their ability to fight so that they can convince the female to see that here they are very much safe. Interesting, isn't it? So these kind of animals, normally, they are much more active at night. They are nocturnals. Because these kind of animals have done their own diagnostic assessment, and they have seen that if they come out during the day, they will be having a problem with the big raptors. Because the big raptors can easily take this kind of a small animal away. That is why they wait until the big birds go to sleep, and then they become active. So I am going to be moving here and see if we can find something. Maybe when I come back, we might be having something.
Hello everyone. That's a bit disappointing about the hyena den, but that's alright. At least we know they are still around. I'm sure they're still alive and well, and we will see them again another evening. They're just feeling a bit camera shy this afternoon. It's been a nice drive though. That elephant sighting was absolutely incredible. They were so close to us. They walked right up to the car. Very curious these ones were, all quite young. Now I'm just trying to navigate my way through here. It's a bit difficult at night time to find a way through these thicker areas. Thankfully, this hyena den is well known, so there's already tracks made and everything. So I know I'm not gonna be going too deep off-road. Always got a way out. Whoa. Looks like I've got myself into a spot of bother here. Bear with me everybody, I do apologise for this. And we're back on track. Now I am trying my hardest not to hit any trees, but rest assured any that I do happen to hit will be fine. They will bounce back, no worries at all, unless it's a very old, very dead one that just snaps right in half. Otherwise they do recover, no dramas. And we are back on the road. I wonder if there's anybody watching along right now that's watching us on television and on the internet at the same time. If so, massive shout out to you guys. You must be a super fan, which we love. I guess it's pretty good to have that advantage, hey, of being able to still look at the screen during the break, not having to worry about the ads. You can just continue watching and listening to me talk about breaks. Welcome back to the Sabi Sand. I am Patrick and we have Davicito on camera. Now, that was a bit unfortunate for the hyena den, but that's alright. We know where they are and we will see them again very soon. There is no doubt in my mind about that at all. So, it's a bit unfortunate we didn't get to see the cubs, but we can still teach you a thing or two about them. Let's check it out.
A few months ago, the very fabric of the Djuma clan was nearly shredded by an Avoca male bent on theft and an ancient vengeance pact. Corky, the matriarch, barely escaped with her life. It was a devastating attack on the heart and home of the clan. She vanished for days. We didn't know if she'd succumbed to her injuries, and we feared a slow death from starvation for her new cub. Finally, however, she returned, on edge and in need of a meal. But reunited with her hungry little son. The gaping, seeping wound is severe. But the matriarch of the Djuma clan is stoic and resilient. Corky had survived a devastating attack from her most mortal enemy, unbowed as mother and matriarch.
Well, isn't that beautiful? I still remember the very first time I laid eyes on those fresh new cubs. They were jet black apart from their faces. They looked like a little bear. It was one of the cuter things I've seen out here. You always love to see some cubs. It is great. Now, I know that you must be all very curious as to what happened at the end of that leopard versus hyena feeding battle, so let's go check it out.
Wow, that went from 0 to 100 in about 5 seconds. All of a sudden, we were sitting here and there was no leopards on this carcass. There was a little cub that was just watching from further away, about a year old, who wasn't kind of doing anything, and all of a sudden, hyena first, then Hosana, then Tingana, and now Mom is also running in the form of Tandi. This is just insane. Now, for those of you who've never kind of joined us before and are watching this chaos unfold, I can assure you this is not normal, and I can assure you that this is a very interesting situation. What we actually have is a leopard kind of family tree here. So the leopard right in the top of the tree, he's the big guy in this area and the dominant male. He's called Tingana. And he is quite an old male. He's about 12 years old, and he is the father of the leopard that is below him, called Hosana, who is a male that is about 2 years and 8 months and is still growing and still finding his feet. At the moment, Dad is very tolerant of him, but is still kind of, you know, figuring things out. Now, the other leopard, which is the female, her name is Tandi, and she's the older sister of Hosana. So she's about 12 years old, much the same age as Tingana, and they have the same mother, Hosana and Tandi, and Tingana has fathered Tandi's cub as well as Hosana. So it's a very complicated mix. It's all kind of linked together, and they've all kind of sort of joined in this one area, which is just insane. Wow. Giselle, you're saying you're trying to find one word for the sighting, but it's too difficult. I know, it's just absolute pandemonium is what I would probably say for one word. It's insane to see what has just taken place. These are not things you get to see every single day. You'll go a long time in life going through to the bush and visiting and being a guide before you'll see a sighting like what we have just witnessed.
Well, welcome back live, everybody. What a fantastic evening we've had. But with all of the activity of the hyena and leopard saga that is plaguing Djuma these days, it has been an incredible couple of weeks. And, well, that is the way it goes. And I have no doubt there will be plenty more interaction as the weeks unfold in front of us. But it is the wet season. There are lots of leaves on the trees, but lots of baby animals trying to make their way through to adulthood. And, well, the leopard and hyena drama on Djuma is going to continue, and up in the Mara, the lions and the cats and the hyena up there are going to continue to marvel us with all the wonders of that which is the special nature of the wilderness in Africa. And all we can do is bring it to TV screens and show you each week how it unfolds. But for now, we are just watching a skyline that is slowly fading into darkness. It is dark now in South Africa officially, and we will be seeing you again next week with another action-packed week of interesting characters that you are slowly becoming to love. And we will see you next week. Thank you to all of you for your questions, comments, to all the team in the Mara down here in Djuma. We will see you all next week. Good night and have a good evening.